Hi, this is Gaius Wong, and here's my review of the Prairie Tarot by Ator. So this is one of my favorite tarot decks, and it's been one of my favorite decks for quite a few years. I don't actually know how long I've had it. I'd have to look that up, but I think I've had it for at least 5 years, and I keep coming back to this deck. And I really wanted to show it to you, and I really want, even though it's old and I know there's other reviews of it, I really wanted to talk about the ways I use it, because I also don't use this the same way that I use other tarot decks. First of all, this tarot deck is actually still in print. The author himself is Ator, and he sells them himself on Amazon. So he's like the seller. You know how they sell third-party things? So he's the seller, and I think he's the only one selling it last time I checked, like a couple days ago. So, you know, if you're buying it on Amazon, you're actually buying it from the creator of the deck. He will ship it to you himself. And I actually wrote to him too, because I had asked, there is a book that does not come with the deck. What you're seeing is just the deck of cards and everything that comes in the box here. But the way you actually get the book, I think I'll show you that first, is through the app. There is a Prairie Tarot app. I believe, I can't see the price of it anymore because I already own it, but I believe I paid maybe $3.99 for it. Sometimes they're on sale for $1.99. And the way you can get the book is by buying this app. And if you click on Explore, the book, the Prairie Tarot, is actually here electronically. So the contents: forward, major arcana, minor arcana. So his thoughts about all of the cards are in this book here that you can get this way. I love these apps from the Fool's Dog, by the way. The creator, is there a way to see the creator? The Fool's Dog. Because I feel like they're the highest quality apps. I trust them to do readings. My best friend and I both get excellent readings from them. And the people who made the software are really into tarot themselves. So that it's not just, you know, it's people who understand, basically, I guess is my point. So that's a little something I wanted to point out to you. Also, Ator, I don't think that's his real name, because I think a lot of you will recognize Ator as being one of the, you know, on the Wheel of Fortune, there's Tarot, Rota. Ator is one of the words you can make off of that card. So I absolutely think that's a pseudonym. But anyway, a little digression before we begin. And yeah, I think I'm just going to walk through the cards, but I'm instead of like, I'm just going to chat as I flip through them for you. So let's see, I'm going to keep them in order though. So, okay. This does come with 79 cards. There's a jackalope, which is kind of like, it's kind of like a joker. It's kind of like a, you know, all possibilities, big bang, whatever, or, you know, you can use it to signify whatever you want. It could be you as a signifier. If you read the signifiers too, that would be a great card for that. And that's the only non-standard card in the deck. I question why I love this deck so much. I think one of the reasons why I love this deck so much is that the colors, as we go through the deck, you'll see that the colors are just magnificent. So if you're like an art person, if you're a comic book person, I think you would love this deck just for the color work. Joe Phillips, another deck creator that I follow on social media, but whom I've never met, he's a I guess an artist, a cartoonist, graphic novel type person, and his color work is amazing. And it's not like this style. He's more, you know, like pure anime graphic novel style color, but I just really have an appreciation for great color work in these types of works. The other reason why I really love this deck is that it's Rider-Waite Smith based, but in a way that preserves the most salient features of the original cards. When you look at all of the images on these cards, even though you know, they're stylized, they are they always capture the basics of the symbolism from the Rider-Waite-Smith. So if you're not so confident and you don't have everything memorized, but you have like if you use the Rider-Waite-Smith as your map, you'll not get too lost with this deck. Sometimes I don't like it when they're sort of Rider-Waite-Smith based, but then like you can look at a card and then just none of the symbolism matches the original. I don't like that so much, but with these, I really do. I should say a little bit about the background too, now that we're kind of gotten into the cards. So basically, I believe Robin Ator grew up in rural Montana. And so these are really inspired by where he grew up. So there's some Native American imagery in here, mostly old, kind of, well, it says a tarot of the American West. So it's kind of like got that Western feel, a rural feel. And I think that might be yet another reason why I'm drawn to these. I live in a big city, and I often a city can really just grate on you. And I feel like there's this bucolic feel to these cards that, you know, I often think about what would it be like to live in a small town, a small place where there's, you know, better sense of community, which can be good and bad, I know. Or, you know, a place where the air is fresher, or big sky country, things exactly like this, you know? And so I think, I don't think I really would do well in such an environment, honestly, but from a fantasy perspective, I feel like this deck really satisfies that to some degree. Here's an example of this is the victory card, the six of wands. I don't know his terminology here. I think I can't remember what he says in his book, like if he says posts or just or wands. But you know, you've got the laurel here hanging, and a flag, which, you know, in the Rider-Waite-Smith, the guy's carrying a flag, and a horse and rider for the Western imagery. So I like that, you know, the laurels are the preserved piece of the imagery. Being atop a horse is another piece of the preserved imagery from the Six of Wands from the original. So it just picks some of these salient features to build the image, which I like amongst, you know, the whole deck really. And I also like the fact that because the colors are so vivid, you know, a lot of decks have a theme color for each of the suits, and I actually I do enjoy that when decks do that. But in this particular deck, I like the fact that, you know, that's not the case here. I like that each card, as we flip through them, it is quite different, and I believe, you know, it's like all the colors of the rainbow. I really like that aspect. Another thing I'm going to talk about, and I don't know if I can talk about it while I'm doing the flip through part of it. Yeah, I can talk about it, but I'll show you, I guess, after the flip through. I talked at the beginning about how I use these cards in a non-standard way. Now, once in a while, I will use these for a reading, like just a proper plain reading, with clients and for myself. And I usually do it if we just want a simple, quick answer on something, you know? But more often, what I like to use this deck for is as a supplemental deck. And what I mean by that is I often like to use multiple decks to do a reading. So one example might just be, the simplest example would be using a deck. Here's a person, right? So if you want that to be your significator, but you also want, so this is the Page of Cups. Let's say you want the Page of Cups to be your significator in a reading, but you also want to be able to draw the Page of Cups as a part of the cards that are participating in the meanings and the reading and in the positions of the reading. Well, and you want the full 78. Well, easiest solution to that is use this deck, maybe as to pull a significator or multiple significators if the reading involves multiple parties and things like that. And then that way you can use your additional deck to have the full 78 for the reading while you use these to mark a significator. The other way I really like to use this deck is I like to use it to mark positions in a reading. There are a lot of spreads out there where all of the positions of the spread are actually tarot cards themselves. The person whom I admire most who does this is Rachel Pollack. And while I'm doing the flip through, I can show the book as well. I think that I'm using a different camera angle than I normally use. Yes, that's an angle. The new Tarot Handbook, Rachel Pollack, between all of the sections, she has like, here's a card for each of the major arcana cards. She has like a reading for the sun. What is clear about an issue or situation? What is clouded over? What helps me see clearly? What confuses me? How can I simplify this issue or situation? If you're going to do a reading for the sun, why not pull the sun card from a deck and have it be kind of a significator for the heart of the reading while you use a full deck to do that reading. And she has like, I think one for each suit like that. Yeah, a reading for the suit of swords. I love this book because like sometimes if I just feel like doing tarot for tarot's sake, and like say maybe strength is on my mind, which I just happen to open it to here, I can just do a reading for that. Or in fact, I can draw a card and do a random reading, right? I can draw a card and then pick a reading from this deck just to do a tarot reading for tarot's sake when I don't really have a specific question in mind. So that's another way. Like this book, you can use this. Or since this card is face up right now, it's the journey card, right? Let's say you're planning a journey, or let's say you're examining some deception, or how are you holding yourself back, right? And if you're doing a reading where a lot of the positions are represented by cards in the deck, you could actually use, say, this deck, just because it's beautiful, has nice color, as to mark all of the positions of a spread, and then use your good old, what is this? Your good old, Pamela Coleman Smith deck for the actual, the 78 that you use to do the reading. So that's just another suggestion as you as you amass a huge number of decks. Maybe you don't have the book memorized for all of them, but you still want to get them out and use them in some way. We're almost through the deck. But yeah, this is a real beloved deck of mine. And I want to talk a little bit, once we get through it, about Robin Ator's other decks, which I don't own, but I have the app, so I was going to show you those. And we're almost through the deck. And last card. There we go. And yeah, I was mentioning earlier that, Robin Ator, he basically is really good with all of the symbolism, like having chosen the salient points. And I just want to show you two of his, through the apps, his other two decks. So he has the Ator Tarot here, and you can see that the cards, they're a very simplified, here's strength, right? A very simplified, all of the details removed versions of all of the cards in a very cartoon sort of way, which it's kind of fun. And I believe every single card, if there's a human figure, one of their eyes is not attached to their body, which I just find really interesting. And the horse, even the horse, one eye is just not attached to the body. I love that. And then his other tarot deck that I know about is the International Icon Tarot, which again is highly simplified, just the most basic of the elements of the cards and a lot of the details removed. And you can focus on the things that he felt were the most important in the Rider-Waite Smith Tarot. So those are both fun decks as well, just to give a little plug for his other decks. But let me just kind of show you really quick too another way I might use the deck. So let's say I'm trying to manifest something. What am I trying to manifest? I'm trying to manifest something. I have a plan coming. Oh, and then where might the plan all fall apart, right? The tower. I'll pull the tower for that. Where can I really shine in this plan? And oh, here, and I'll pull the moon. Okay, so like I'm trying to manifest something, maybe what am I trying to manifest? Where do I have to, like, maybe either you could use this card to represent where do I have to break things down to their foundation in order to like start over again, build things up. I've got the star, where can I really shine? The moon, where's the hidden knowledge? Where's my intuition in this thing? And you design a quick tarot reading based on these cards' meanings. And now I'm going to use I'm going to use another deck, and I'm actually going to use I'm going to draw cards, right? So let's say I draw, here, I'm just going to put, well, they're all in order, but whatever. So now I can read the meanings from this deck, but I'm holding the positions with another deck. I love to use the Prairie Tarot for this because it doesn't have all the symbolism of the cards when I read the meanings. But I mean, the actual positions, the basic meanings of the cards are there, and I get to see the beautiful artwork. It's a great way to use a deck that you might not pull out so often because you don't have all the meanings memorized, but to give it some use and to give it some air and to give it some love. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about the Prairie Tarot, and I just love the beautiful artwork in it, and I hope you guys maybe consider getting it as well and support the author who has been keeping this deck in print. Take care.